Take a look at this OpenAI advertisement. It boldly claims, agents handle the busy work so you don't have to. Now, on the surface, sure, that just looks like your standard tech marketing, right? But if you're really paying attention, this is a massive signal. It represents a fundamental shift in intent. We are moving from models just answering questions to models actually executing real work. And what's incredibly cool is that this very advertisement sparked a rigorous, almost ruthless debate between the AI models themselves about who is actually best equipped to handle all that busy work.
So, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're doing something a bit different, and honestly, a lot of fun. We are having the top AI models brutally evaluate each other to break down this massive shift happening in the artificial intelligence landscape right now. We're going to use their own, unvarnished self-assessments to map out exactly where this tech is heading and how you can harness it.
Here's our roadmap for today. First, the new AI battlefield. Second, Claude evaluates the competition. Third, ChatGPT weighs in. And finally, building an AI command center.
Let's jump right into Section 1, the new AI battlefield, from chatbots to operational layers.
To really understand what's happening right now, we have to recognize a massive paradigm shift. As ChatGPT astutely pointed out when we asked it to analyze the competitive landscape, the goalposts have completely moved. The market is shifting away from building the quote-unquote best conversational AI to building the best AI operator or agent ecosystem. So the goal is much less about having a super-powered search engine to answer your trivia questions and way more about these systems actually executing multi-step work on your behalf.
To truly grasp this shift, we used a mirror technique. We literally fed that OpenAI Codex ad back to the leading models, asking ChatGPT to weigh in on its strengths versus the competition. We basically asked them to perform brutally honest competitive analyses of themselves and their rivals based on this new operational battlefield. And I've got to say, the self-awareness they showed is incredibly revealing.
Moving on to Section 2, Claude evaluates the competition, a brutally honest read on the developer landscape.
If there is one specific area where this agentic shift is happening the fastest, it is absolutely in software engineering. We asked Claude to evaluate its position against OpenAI's Codex. And what's brilliant here is that Claude immediately acknowledged how incredibly fast this landscape shifts. Before it even gave us an answer, it stated that it needed to go check the current state of Codex. I mean, that proves we aren't dealing with static tools anymore. These are rapidly, constantly evolving ecosystems.
Now, the really fascinating part here is the philosophical divergence between these two tech giants. They are converging on capability, sure, but they are totally diverging on philosophy. See, Claude favors local-first execution. It runs against your own file system, which is a massive win for data sovereignty and tight governance. Codex, on the other hand, defaults to a cloud sandbox clone of your repository, and that allows for massive cloud-based parallelization. So it's essentially this core choice between deep, local control versus limitless cloud scale.
Claude identifies its own strengths quite candidly. It points out that in blind reviews, its output was rated cleaner 67% of the time, especially when dealing with complex architecture and refactoring. But the real superpower Claude highlights is governance. With 26 lifecycle hooks, 82 mature skills, and deep MCP connectors, Claude gives operators deep customization and policy-bound supervision. Basically, it's built for automation, but with serious oversight.
Conversely, Claude absolutely concedes that Codex dominates on throughput economics. Codex costs roughly half as much per million tokens compared to Claude's top models, which offers practically limitless headroom without hitting those annoying max-tier ceilings. Claude also points out that Codex achieved a staggering 7-hour-long horizon autonomy in testing. That allows for mass cloud parallelization. And for the folks focused on sovereignty, Codex's CLI is fully open source with over 67,000 GitHub stars. That is a massive competitive edge.
So how does this actually translate to your day-to-day workflow? Well, the dividing lines are pretty clear. You rely on Claude Code for strict policy gates, standard enforcement, and making big architectural changes. But you pivot over to Codex when you need raw economic scale, and you want to avoid the strict rate limits of those top-tier models. Interestingly, local sovereignty is almost a tie here, because while Claude runs locally by default, Codex's open-source CLI makes it highly competitive in that arena too.
Because of this, smart developers aren't just picking one side based on competitive FOMO, they're combining them. The pro pattern circulating right now is literally Claude Code for architecture, Codex for keystrokes. It's become so prevalent that OpenAI actually ships an official Codex plugin that runs directly inside a Claude Code session. The smartest operators out there are using both to perfectly leverage their distinct strengths.
All right, Section 3. ChatGPT weighs in. The broad ecosystem view. Zooming out a bit from the developer trenches, we asked ChatGPT to assess itself across the broader operational landscape, and it viewed its role as an AI ops officer. Where Claude goes really deep on a single thread, ChatGPT excels at cross-domain operational continuity. It has this incredible long-form operational memory that allows it to seamlessly bounce from managing Airbnb operations to organizing logistics to estate planning and even theology. Combined with its massive tool ecosystem, like integrating directly with Gmail, Calendar, and File Search, ChatGPT frames itself as the ultimate broad-spectrum orchestrator.
And this brilliantly illustrates how the major players are staking your claims, exactly as mapped out by ChatGPT itself. Look at this. OpenAI is betting on becoming the ultimate AI operating system. Anthropic aims to be the safest, most intellectual coding partner. Google is leveraging its massive distribution to weave AI directly into the internet's plumbing, shining in YouTube and search. xAI's Grok is completely owning the lane of real-time, internet-native AI with its distinct cultural awareness and snark. And Meta? They are fighting for pure dominance through entirely open-source ecosystems.
So, the ultimate realization from this cross-evaluation, which is agreed upon by the models themselves, by the way, is that the era of relying on one single, universally dominant AI model is officially over. Different models are genuinely better at different things right now.
Which brings us to our final section, Section 4, Building an AI Command Center, Redefining Your Operational Stack. Let's explore exactly how you can practically apply this multi-model paradigm. The most effective operators understand that no single model is best universally. Instead, they're building highly specialized stacks. A future power user stack uses one model for deep coding, like Claude, another for broad operational strategy, like ChatGPT, another for multi-model YouTube and search analysis, tapping into Gemini's specific strengths, and finally, a local model like Llama for fully private tasks. You aren't just choosing a favorite anymore, you are choosing the right tool for the exact job. Your goal is no longer to ask who has the smartest chatbot. The true winner in this new paradigm is whoever builds the best orchestrated AI command center. It's all about bringing these distinct, highly capable tools together into a seamless workflow where agents actually handle the busy work across your entire operational estate. To put this into practice, I highly recommend trying this simple experiment this week. First, select a single operational task from your daily workload. Second, give the exact same prompt to ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. Finally, rigorously compare their outputs. Look closely at their structure, their speed, check for hallucinations, and assess the emotional tone and implementation quality. You will very quickly see firsthand exactly where each one shines.
As these agentic workflows continue to evolve from simple chat interfaces to complex, multi-layered automation, the power shifts directly to you, the operator. So I leave you with this. What will your personalized AI command center look like? How will you architect your stack to master the busy work? Thanks for joining me on this explainer. I really hope it gave you a powerful new framework for utilizing these tools. Keep experimenting, and I'll see you next time.